So I'm a hedge fund portfolio manager and trader.
Okay.
I don't I don't code myself. I have people who do who we use a lot of programs.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this was learning experience, trying to get my learning curve up to see exactly how it's done on the back end. I'm very familiar with a lot of the products that I've put out. I use them a lot in every day,
Mm-hmm.
either for risk analysis or for decision making. But
Mm-hmm.
this is just to get into the back end of things to see how it's done.
Okay. All right, great. What's your name, by the way? Puneet, right?
Puneet, Puneet,
Okay.
correct.
All right. Okay. So thanks, Puneet, for your introduction. Rahul, you
Twice.
can just give me your introduction.
So hi, I am Rahul Raj, and I'm currently in my final years in my BTech in IITDH,
Okay.
and I had traded in different financial markets like forex and all, and in the option market in the Indian stock market also I had traded. I manage a little bit of the portfolio of the different investors. Like the funds are up to a mark, not much, and given remarkable return of around 80%, 18% per annum.
Okay.
That's it.
Coding. Have you ever done coding before?
Yeah, I am CS student, so I had did the coding also.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Rahul, for your introduction. Benson, what about you? Benson Yang.
Yeah, hi. So, hi everybody. So, I'm currently working in treasury in a fintech company. So, I do trade FX and equities most of the time. Yeah,
Coding. Have you ever done coding before?
I took my diploma in coding, but I'm a bit rusty now. So, yeah, it's good for me to refresh over here, lah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. So let's start the session now. All right. So, welcome everyone to FESA Pro Batch 36. So, my name is Sunil. Let me just introduce myself too. So, I've been in the markets for last 8 to 9 years. What do? I do two things. One is I design end-to-end strategies for my clients. So, client can be a trader, it can be a proprietary trading desk, it can be anyone who manages funds and they want to automate their entire strategy. That is one of my business line. The other is I train finance professional to do the same. Okay, and this is what we will be doing in this program. This program will be for 4 months. Okay, 3 to 4 months depending on the pace of the batch. Some batches, I end the entire course in 3 months. Some batches might go up to 5 months also, if the batch needs more explanation for on some particular topics. All right, I have also worked in Morgan Stanley for a year. And yeah, that's it about me. You guys can follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, on YouTube, Fesa Pro channel if you want to know more about me. Now, coming to the course, let me just give you a brief overview of what we will be doing, why we will be doing. And if you have any doubt in this entire curriculum, you can ask me once I am done with my explanation. So, if you go to your dashboard, you will find two courses. One will be uh, Python for Finance and Algo Trading. This is the course. And the second will be Batch 36. So, in Batch 36, all the recordings will be available. Now, each and every session that we will be having will be recorded and the recording will be uploaded onto this course, which is Batch 36. Okay, all the sessions will be recorded. You don't have to worry. If you miss any session, you can watch it anytime you want. And I will try to give you access as much as possible. Like, see what happens after 1 or 2 years, I will be taking again a new batch, right? So, in case if these recordings are not available, it will be replaced with more better upgraded recording. Okay, so for your current batch recording, I'll try to give you access for 1 or 2 year. Later, after 1 or 2 year, you'll get a upgraded recording, not the same recording. Okay. Then we have the other course, which is Python for Finance and Algo Trading. Now, in this course, I've given you the entire course beforehand. There are two reasons to do this. Now, there are students who already know Python and there are students who don't know Python. For students who know Python, they can directly start with the algo trading part. Like if you scroll down, I'm going to discuss the entire syllabus in a few minutes, but you can directly go to the algo trading part and you can start designing the strategy. The second is people who are starting this course or learning programming for the first time. I want you guys to be prepared before coming to the session. Okay, for this session, there is no requirement, but from next session onward, I will be uh, I want you guys to go through some videos, like not all the sessions. Some sessions are easy, some sessions are difficult. But for difficult session, you have to watch the video before coming to the session. Why? Because if you watch it, you'll have a pretty good idea of what I will be discussing, and it will be much easier for you to understand. Okay, so these are the two reasons why I'm giving you the entire course before the course starts. Okay, now coming to the curriculum. So as I told you, this entire course is divided in 3 to 4 months. In the first month, we will only be discussing fundamental. Now this entire course is designed for someone who has never coded before. Okay, so if you have uh, any problem in your mind that you think that this, I might not understand the course because I've never done coding before, so you don't have to worry, because I have designed this course for someone like you only. Like, we do have people who have coding background, but for them I have the advanced part. Okay, so you don't have to worry that you'll not understand anything. I'll make sure I have the expertise in this. I've been teaching finance professional this for the last 5 years, so I know what concept to teach, how to teach everything. I have experience in this domain. Okay, so coming back to the syllabus, for the first few months we will be covering all the fundamental topic, like what is variable, what is string, what is loops, what is data structure, what is function, what is files and exception, what is class and object, what is module. These are all the fundamental topics we will be discussing in first 1 to 1.5 month. Once we cover the fundamental topic, we will move to a little intermediate topic. Now in intermediate topic, we will be using the code that someone else has written. So we will be using libraries. There are different libraries, like there is Y Finance library, there is Selenium library, now there is broker specific library. How to use those library, how to read the library, how to read the documentation, that's what we will be discussing in the intermediate part. So intermediate part will also go for like 2 to 3 weeks. In that we will be covering data analysis topic like pandas library, there is numpy library, how do you manage data, handle data, all those stuff we will be discussing. After this, we'll move to date time analysis, which is like we'll start with financial data, a data which has timestamp in it. Like there is a time and date part in it. How do you deal with that data is what we will be discussing. Then we will move to finance part. I will teach you how do you fetch data. Now, when I say data, there can be fundamental data, it can be candle data, it can be tick level data, it can be any type of data, right? How do you get that data for free? How can you get the paid data? All of this we will be discussing. After getting the data, analyzing the data, we'll move to analysis. So we'll talk about fundamental analysis, where I'll show you how you can fetch cash flow, uh, income statement, all those things from a company, of any company you want, whether it's an Indian company or a US company. You can easily get it into your Python code by using a Y Finance library. Then we will discuss about technical analysis, like how do you take the candle data, how do you calculate simple indicators like Bollinger Band, RSI, moving average. Those are all technical analysis stuff that we will be discussing. How do you plot it? How do you get the data for free? Everything we will be discussing. Once we cover this finance part, then we will move to the actual trading. Okay. So for this Saturday, Sunday batch, I have shortlisted one broker, which is Alpaca. I will tell you why I have shortlisted this broker, but you also have the option of going for interactive broker. Okay. Now, what all things we will be covering, that I'll show you first. Then I'll tell you why I have selected these two brokers. I have not selected any Indian broker. Both of them are international broker. Okay. So what we will be covering how do you fetch your account level information? Because see, these broker API concept, they remain same for all the broker. Whether you take broker A, whether you take broker B, these fundamental topic remain the same. What fundamental topic? Fetch your current balance, fetch your margin, fetch your uh, tradable assets. All those things remain the same, right? Account level information, get your uh, order book, get your portfolio. All those things we will learn. Then we will discuss about Then we will talk about data. How do you get historical data? How do you get live data? Now, when it comes to live data, it can be candle live data. It can be tick level live data, right? Then we will discuss about orders. How do you place different types of order? Like it can be a market order, it can be a limit order, it can be a stop order, it can be a bracket order, it can be any type of order. How do you place it? Then we'll discuss about WebSocket. In WebSocket, we take real-time data from the server, right? We don't use candle data, but we want real-time. Every second, every microsecond, what is the price of that particular instrument? We try to get it via WebSocket, right? So these are all the broker related fundamentals that we will be discussing. After covering all the broker related concept, then I will take all the concept and we will design a template. Now this template is a strategy template. Okay, everything will be combined, and I will show you how we all can use this template to design a strategy. So this template is like the heart of this my entire program. Okay, from my experience from past few years, from past 8 years, I have noticed that once you design one or two strategies, designing other strategies is quite easy because all the hard work is already done. You just have to do some changes. And it's not like you have to do the changes by yourself. You can also ask uh, AI agent to do the same. That also we'll talk in few minutes. Okay. So this is what we will be doing. After covering the template, we will design some strategy like super trend strategy, SMA, EMA strategy, all those things we will be discussing. After that, we'll talk about backtesting. Okay. So to backtest, how do you get the data? How do you backtest the data? What are the metrics that you have to look at when you backtest the data? Okay, what is overfitting? What you can do to avoid overfitting? All those things we will be discussing in backtesting. Okay, I'll take like 3 to 4 strategies and I'll show you how to backtest the strategy. After backtesting, we will move to advanced topic. Now this is like the almost the entire program. We have learned the fundamental, we have learned the broker API, we have learned how to use those API to design a template, then we have designed the strategy, then we have also discussed about backtesting a strategy. Now there are some advanced topic which are optional. If you want, you can attend. If you want, you can skip it. Optional topic is sentiment analysis. So we'll fetch news from some website and we'll analyze the news and we'll figure out what is the sentiment of the market. Is it neutral? Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Whatever the sentiment is, how to do it is what we will be discussing in that session. Then how do you deploy your strategy on a cloud? Like your strategy is completed, everything is working fine on your local system. How do you take it and deploy it on cloud? And why should we do it? That also we'll discuss during the session. Then option strategy. Now, option strategies are completely different from a normal trading strategy. Like whether you take crypto market, whether you take forex market, whether you take stocks, even futures. Okay, now here it is quite straightforward. Okay, it's easy for a normal person to understand. But options, they are quite different. So that's why this option strategies are a advanced topic and optional topic. If you want, you can attend. If you want, you can skip it. If you don't understand option, then you won't be able to follow along the session. So in that, I will show you how do you backtest option strategy, basic strategy like a straddle triangle. How do you implement a live option working strategy? So these are all the things we will be discussing in option strategy part. So that is the advanced topic. So this is the overview of the entire program. Now, I have students from different markets. Okay, there are students from crypto market, forex market. So I cannot cover all the markets in our Saturday, Sunday session. So what I have done, I've created a community. It's a WhatsApp group. So every week after you complete your entire program, you can attend my uh, community session. So that is usually once a week, and in that week I take a broker or I take a market and I show you how do you design strategies in that market. So this course is not the end of this, end of our relationship. We will keep on going if you because this is like a never ending process. You will learn more and more things because there are so many markets, right? So I cannot just cover everything in this 4 month. I will be covering whatever is required. Once this fundamental thing is done, once the template is clear, then switching to one market at a time we will do. Like for 2 months, I'll discuss about forex strategy. For the next 2 months, I'll discuss about crypto strategy. For a few months, I'll only discuss about option strategy. So that's how my entire year will be divided. This is like weekly session, only once a week, 1 hour. It's usually 6 p.m. IST. Okay, it will either be on Thursday or Saturday, Thursday and Friday. And on any one day we will be having this session and it's free. You don't have to pay anything extra. Once you complete the course, you can attend, you will understand everything. Okay. Now this is the entire overview of the program. Now let me tell you why I have chosen these two brokers. So we have students from around the globe. Okay, we have students from UK, we have students from Dubai, we have UK from US also. So I needed one international broker. So I came across one broker called Interactive Broker. So this is the only broker which is available in all the countries, in majority of the countries. Okay, you can trade US market also, you can trade China market also, Hong Kong also, everywhere you can trade. And this is quite a reputed broker. It's a listed broker. Okay, so that's the reason I've selected this broker. And few more good thing about this broker is in India, if you create an account, if you open a demat account on Interactive Broker, they give you option live data for free. Like I do have a lot of students who want me to discuss option strategy. So that's the reason I am focusing more on options. But like it's an optional thing. So you get live option strategy, live real-time data of all the option contract for free. You just have to fund your account with 10,000 rupees. That's it. Second, all the APIs that this broker has is also good. Okay. Third is if you're someone who's a trader in India and you want to go international, this is the only broker option that you have. Okay, you can easily open an entity in Dubai or UK and you can trade US market. So you don't have to learn anything new. You can use the same broker, same strategy, just change the parameter and deploy your strategy on other markets. So these are all the reasons why I prefer interactive broker. So this is one broker that we will. So I have two options actually. One is interactive broker. These are the reasons why I've selected this broker. The other broker is Alpaca. Now, why I've chosen Alpaca? Because Alpaca, so there are some downsides of Alpaca too. Alpaca is not available in India. This is only in US market, only for US market. And the market that are supported in Alpaca is segments is stock, options, and crypto. By the way, this interactive broker supports all the market. Okay, you can trade stock, you can trade options, you can trade futures, you can trade forex also, you can trade crypto also. Like I only know of one broker which supports all the segment. Like there are others too, but this is like globally known broker. Okay, like once you are able to design strategy by using interactive broker, other broker will be very easy for you. Okay, so I do have a bias for this because it's too good. There is no competition for this broker from my knowledge. I don't know any. The other broker is Alpaca. Now, there is one problem in interactive broker, that is we have people who have finance background. And if you have a finance background, you cannot open a demat account. Okay, so a lot of students came to me with the same reason that I want to learn, but I cannot open a demat account because my company don't allow me to do that. So to tackle that, I have shortlisted this another broker called Alpaca. The best thing about Alpaca broker is you can create a demo account in Alpaca without uploading any document. You don't need anything. You just need to click on login. Just click on login with Gmail and they'll give you the demo account for free. Once you have the demo account, you can do paper trading on all the three markets. US market also you can do paper trade, all the US market, okay, like stock options and crypto. Right, you don't have to pay anything, you don't have to upload any document, you just click on sign up, click on Google login and you have the account. They will give you paper money and that account is enough for us to learn algo trading. The best part about Alpaca is they also give me real-time option data for free. I don't have to pay any extra charges. See, I don't want my student to face any hurdle that, sir, I have to pay for this to learn this. I don't want that. So that's why I've shortlisted all the free resources only. So you don't have to pay anything to learn any concept for this entire course. Okay, so I'll repeat again why I've selected Alpaca. First is barrier to entry. You can easily open a paper trading account. Second, it supports all the three things which we need, that is stock, options, and crypto. Stock and options only for US market. This broker, if you want to actually trade US market, you need to be US citizen. So as an Indian, you cannot open a real account on this broker. You can only open a paper trading account, which is enough for us to learn algo trading. Okay, and what other reason? Yeah, real-time option data is also free. So these are the reasons why I've selected this broker. Now, if you are thinking that what about Indian broker, then you don't have to worry. If you go to your dashboard, I have selected one Indian broker also called Fire's Indian broker, and I have uploaded all the recordings of that Fire broker. Like, see, there are so many brokers, we cannot cover all of them, but once you master one broker, it's very easy to migrate to another broker. But still, I've provided you recording for all the three broker. You will find recording for Alpaca also. You'll find recording for Interactive Broker also and Fires also on your dashboard. But in our live Saturday Sunday, we will take only one broker. I cannot discuss all the three brokers. Maybe in some other batch I can, but in one batch I can only cover one broker. Okay. So yeah, that's for the entire syllabus. Now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Yes, Raman. So opening account on Interactive Broker is difficult. That was the reason why I switched to Alpaca. Okay, you can easily open account on Alpaca. So on Interactive Broker, you can also open a paper trading account. So try to open a paper trading account. We can trade stocks. You won't be getting option data on paper trading account. For that, you have to open a real demat account. Only then you'll get real-time option data through Interactive Broker. You have to call them and you have to ask them how if you face any issue. I cannot do anything about that. Yes, Rahul, you want to ask something?
Yes, sir. I have two questions.
Yeah.
So my first question is it possible to this automation, can we identify chart patterns or any price action in the price?
The answer is yes, but not all of them. Okay, if your pattern is well defined, then yes, 100% you can do. if there is some pattern which is a little vague, sometime it's this, sometime it's this, but if you can still write it down on a piece of paper, you can define it, then definitely yes, you can do it. uh, basic basic price action like uh, FVG or accumulation zone or support resistance, those things you can do. I don't know about advanced. Like I've seen a lot of advanced, or like you can say weird price action, which is very difficult to, like decrypt. Like sometime it is this, sometime it is something else. So those things I don't think is possible. But all the famous one I think is possible.
Okay. And one more question. For fundamental analysis,
Hmm.
so I was using there was one website called Screener.
Okay.
So there are limitations on Screener that we cannot use old data. Like suppose I am using some parameters for fundamental analysis to check in the past when it was working. So it is not possible on Spinner. So with this automation, can we practice fundamental analysis?
When you say fundamental, you're talking about financial statements, right?
Yes, yes.
For few years, yeah, you can. So there is one
Okay.
website, Finviz Finance, which gives you Finviz Finance and Y Finance. Both of them will give you historical fundamental data, like all the cash flows and all, for I think 3 to 4 years. For 3 to 4 years, you can backtest. Like I don't know about 10, 15 years, but 3 to 5 years you can. It is possible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Rahul, you want to say something? You can mute yourself, Rahul.
Yes,
There are two Rahul.
yes,
Okay.
yes, Sunil. I can see most of the candidates here are from the Indian market, so
Hmm.
I would like to more exposure, more development on Titanic because you know that Zerodha is a big player in Indian market.
Hmm.
So
See, I won't be able to discuss it on Saturday, Sunday session, but yes, definitely, if I have enough student, I am ready to discuss it on Thursday session, Thursday or Friday session. In that, I can show you all the things that we are discussing in the live session,
okay,
taking the API, building the strategy, and if you have any strategy, you can post it and I'll design it for you.
yeah. Because what happened actually in my previous Python trading, so trainer only learned about the Python and they coded only one strategy. So
Okay.
it will not, I mean, it's not getting too much exposure. So
Yeah,
that's
so
why I'm
that's why we
saying,
have Thursday session, right? So in that,
yeah,
not
yeah,
just one market, we will be covering all the markets, but one
yes.
at a time.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Because more and more strategy development is required
Yes.
currently.
Yeah.
So
For-
for us, I know no one will share their corresponding strategy open forum. I know it, but
Hmm.
whatever available in YouTube or somewhere else, then we can sit together and we can code in Microsoft.
Yeah, definitely we can do that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Anyone else has any other doubt? Mohit, Narendra, Harshvardhan, Avinash, Raman, Sahil, Sai, Vanshika.
No, I'm good.
Sunil,
Yeah,
when
Sai.
do we get access to Thursday sessions?
Live sessions, I think by the end of the month.
Okay.
Or in between. I'll update it in your WhatsApp group itself. I will add all of you into our community. And in that community, whenever I have a session, I update it on the community itself. It's a WhatsApp community.
Okay. Also, after completing this course, can we explore a quant jobs as well?
Yeah, coming to that point, I was about to come to that point in a minute. Any other doubt other than this?
Sunil, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
In options, when I trade a strategy, in interface, we don't have any combined stop loss, right? On interface application, if we take a stocks, there is no combined stop loss for an option strategy.
So what is your doubt?
Can we have like do that in the coding like through Python?
Yeah, of course you can have a stop loss.
It's like yeah,
Not the combined, like on individual leg you can have a stop loss.
not combined.
Not combined, individual leg.
I thought like combined may be possible through Python.
Combined, maybe like then like if you want to completely close your position, or you want to just have, if there are only two possibility, then yes you can do that. But if you want to uh like if you don't want to close the entire position, you just want to close some leg, then individual leg stop loss is what I prefer. If you want to
Not
close the entire
right,
position, then
right.
yeah, it is possible.
For each strategy or for like how it like for each strategy I can have combined stop loss like.
Yeah, it is possible. If you want to completely close it, then yes. If there is no adjustment, then yeah,
Okay,
possible.
sure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Like why it will not be possible? You just have to take the PNL of all the four contract that you're open and
Hmm.
continuously track the PNL. If the PNL reaches your threshold, you close the position. It is doable.
Yeah, yeah. For each strategy, right? Each strategy I can.
See, when you say
do that.
strategy, it's it's not clear. If it's an iron condor, see, from what I am saying is, if you have placed the iron condor, you're calling that as a strategy. Then yes, you can close that as a whole. Now, if you say that along with that iron condor, you also have a stock available, will you call that the entire thing one? No, they are both different things.
I'm talking about the option.
Yeah.
Multiple strategies, each can have a combined stop loss, right?
Yes, it is possible. Okay. Now coming to the quant finance part. So there are students who want to go into the quant domain. So there are three types of job role that you will find. Either you'll find a quant trader role, you'll find quant researcher role, or quant developer role. Now for quant developer, if you want quant developer role, then you need to have a software background. Okay. Other than that, it's very difficult because you need core computer science knowledge for that domain. But the other two domains you can still crack, that is quant trader and quant researcher with the finance background. Okay. So for that, I suggest one very good program which is called World Quant University. So this is a website by World Quant Company. The website name is World Quant University. So they have a program called Financial Engineering, which I highly recommend to all of my students who want to get a job. This is only for job. If you just want to automate your strategy, this course is enough. If you want to get a job, then I suggest you go for this program. So here, if you go to our program, they have this MSc in financial engineering. Even I have done this program. I'm quite happy with it. Now, this program is not like our program. Okay, in the program that you are enrolled in, here I teach you everything line by line. Okay, I spoon feed you everything. But here they will not do anything. They'll just give you content and that's it. You have to read the content, you have to understand the content, everything you have to do on your own. All they will do is they'll give you Jupyter file, they'll give you textual content, that's it. Okay, no one is going to explain you anything, everything you have to do it on your own. And the prerequisite for this program is you should be good with Python. Okay, so I won't recommend you to join right now. If you are good with Python, then yes, you can join. If you're not good with Python, complete this program. If you want to go to the next level, then join this program where they will teach you uh, the math and the finance part required to go into the quants. Okay, especially, so this program is more favorable for quant researcher role. Okay, quant researcher role you can get if you complete this program and my program, which is Python program. And how do we help our student to get a job? So we have a community. Okay, so our all the students are working in different banks, different trading firms. So you can reach out to them, you can send your CV, I'll forward it to them. Okay, so it's more of a community based uh, job helping. Okay, so I also know a lot of HR, so if any student wants a job, you can send me the CV, I'll forward it to them. We don't guarantee any job, we can just help you reach to uh, like people who can get you hired. Any other doubt, anyone? Also, arbitrage mainly in forex and commodity. So Sahil, I am planning to have one session on arbitrage, uh, but it will be possible in crypto, I think. I don't think commodity and forex will be possible. In crypto, I can show you.
But here, mostly in Dubai, like all the HNIs and everyone who is doing the trading, they are mostly doing in gold and forex. Crypto, I've never heard of, to be frank.
I mean, it is possible, but both of them, are they different broker or same broker?
Both will be different broker because you need to
And different
open one
markets.
position. No, market, mostly if you're doing gold, so this gold, what we do is we take a broker, which will give us a leverage.
Mhm.
And the other one is which you can, sell the position in your like international banks. But there's a huge market, very huge market for
Yes,
arbitrage here.
I have designed a strategy on this. It was for one of my client. I have designed it. Yeah, it is possible, but I'm not sure if I.
After
Yeah,
session, maybe I will talk.
yeah, sure, definitely, yeah.
Sure.
So Sunil, actually, as a like I was working with the hedge funds.
Mhm.
So what would be the best, better? Now we are dealing with the investment like options and the macroeconomic event based economic conditions. So to make the investment by the investor. So what would be the best for me, like trader or researcher?
What is your doubt? As a job,
No, I'm just
for a
asking.
job you're asking?
Yes, yes, yes.
For a job, it depends on your qualification. What is your background? From what I know,
Economics graduate.
economics, right?
Yeah, MBA in
Trader,
finance, but
trader.
economics and trader.
Yeah, trader or
Trader will
researcher.
be
If
better.
if you have good maths background, then researcher. If your maths is not good, then trader.
Okay.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, Rahul.
Uh, Sir, I'm not aware about this term quant trading. Uh, so can you please explain? And one more, in India, do we allow to do algo trading or is not yet? I wanted to know.
See, in India, there are too many regulation. Okay, I have stopped keeping track of it because I don't do Indian markets anymore. Few years back, yeah, it was possible. Now they have bought a lot of regulation, but from my students, they are still doing it. I don't know the exact regulatory part, like you have to register your IP and all, but yeah, it is still possible in India. But there are some regulations. And the other question was quant trading, right? So see, when you say quant, right, it's a more generalized topic. So let's just understand quant. So quant is anything which involves mathematics. Okay, if any type of mathematical equation is involved, we can call it quant. Now, when I say trading, it means I'm going to use maths to take my trading decision. This is quant trading. Okay. Now, when we talk about job roles, right? So there are three things. Now, see, some firms are too big. Okay, so they cannot just leave everything on a single guy. So they have three different profiles. One is quant trader, one is quant researcher, one is quant developer. So quant researcher, what quant researcher will do? He will research. He will use maths to figure out some inconsistency in the market, maybe some arbitrage, maybe some pair trading, maybe some directional. It can be any type of strategy. There are different type of strategy. There is directional strategy, there is mean reverting strategy, there is arbitrage strategy, uh, and few more. Okay, so quant researcher will use maths, try to figure out how we can use maths to take trading decision. Once he comes up with some model, or you can say some logic and model is also same thing actually. So once he comes up with some model, what developer will do, he will actually design it. Okay, he will make sure that it will not fail. Developer will design the model and it will give it to the trader. Now it's trader job to start it, stop it, uh, deploy the capital and everything. Like actually using part is done by the trader. Okay, so yeah, this entire thing you can call it quant trading actually.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Okay, now one more thing we have, which is one-on-one session. Okay, this is only for students who have a good strategy that they want to automate and they don't want to share it with anyone, and they want to complete the course fast. Okay, so there are limitation to this. So I only take like 3 students at a time. Right now, 2 students are already there. So I only have 1 seat left for the one-on-one coaching thing. So what are some USPs of one-on-one coaching? So you will have access to the group classes also, and you will have access to me on a one-on-one basis also. So I will be teaching you everything one-on-one. Okay. Plus, I will also help you design your strategy. Any strategy that you have, I will design it with you end to end. Okay. I'll help you in every aspect which is possible. Okay. Now, if any one of you wants to connect or join the one-on-one program, you have to message me and Arbas for that. I only have one seat. I won't, like, after one, if there are more than one student, then there will be a wait list. Once the other two students sessions are over, only then I can take the new student. Okay, so this is like purely first come first basis, and it's a limited thing, one-on-one. And what else we have in one-on-one? Yeah, that's the one-on-one thing. If you want to know more about it, you can text me. If you have any doubt, you can text me. Any other doubt anyone has? Yeah, pace is also different. Okay, in one-on-one, I'll go with your pace. If you don't know anything, we'll go slow. If you know a lot of things, we'll go fast. As per your requirement, I'll teach you. Like if your requirement is you want to design this option strategy, so the entire course will be like the entire journey will be focused on designing the strategy as fast as possible. So the speed is the utmost priority here. In live session, there is no pace, so I have to go at a slow pace only, because there are students from different domains. So I cannot just skip something. Like if I can skip only the finance topic, tech part I cannot skip, because if I skip any tech part, then it will be difficult to understand the later part, right? So yeah, that's the difference between one-on-one and the group classes. Anything else? If you guys have any doubt, you can ask me. One more thing. So on this Thursday, Friday session that I'm talking about, I will be taking strategies from the students only. Okay, so if you have any strategy in your mind, if I think it is good enough to that we can discuss, and if you're open to discuss with everyone, then send the strategy to me. If I think it's enough, if I have enough time, then we'll discuss it in our live session, live Thursdays, Friday sessions. So I had multiple sessions till now. If you want to see my previous session, you can, I'll just show you. So there are some uh, strategies that I've already designed all the markets. So there is a strategy in crypto market. This is the link. You watch the video to understand how this bot is created. Then there is the code also. Code is also provided. Then there is a forex market. In forex market, how I design the strategy. There is a code. Okay, option selling strategy. There is one option buying strategy. There is one Renko strategy. So as I get more and more strategy, I will be adding more and more into this list, and all of those new strategies will be uploaded to your dashboard. Yeah. Where will you find the recording of Thursday session? You will find it in the another course. So in your dashboard, you will find a course called Live Strategy Building Session. In this, you will find your Thursday session recording. In your batch 36, you'll find the Saturday Sunday recording. In Python for Finance, you have pre-recorded session. This keeps on getting updated. Yeah, and in Hindi, there is again a Hindi course also, whose date is not fixed yet. So I have a lot of students who want me to start this entire batch in Hindi, but I still don't have enough student. So once I have enough student, I will be starting a Hindi batch also, which I will update it on our WhatsApp community. You guys can join that Hindi batch too for free. So in that Hindi batch, I will cover the entire course in Hindi. Same content, only the language will be different. And one more thing I want to ask everyone: you guys are comfortable if we change the timing from 2:30 to 4:30? Everyone, just give me a thumbs up if you are okay. So it will be from 4:30 to 6. Otherwise, we'll keep it same.
Yeah, sure, you can.
So right now it is 2:30 to 4. I am planning to shift it from 4:30 to 6. Not sure. I'll update it in the group, of course. All right. So we'll see. I'll update you, whatever it is. So we will meet every week, Saturday, Sunday. If you have any doubt, you have my WhatsApp number. Just reach out to me. If you have any strategy that you want to build, again, I'm available. Okay. So that's it for today's introductory session. From next session onward, we'll start with the actual part. Now in next session, we will on Saturday, Sunday, we'll discuss two topics. One is variable and string. If you watch the video, it's fine. Even if you don't watch the video, it's fine because this is a basic topic. Variables and string, conditional and installation. These three topics are basic and easy, I can say. Even if you don't watch it, it's fine. But from then, data structure. Data structure is difficult topic. Loops is very difficult topic. So here you have to watch the video before coming to the session. Okay, any topic which I think is difficult, I'll tell you in the previous session only that this is the difficult session. You have to watch the recording. Okay, because you're learning programming for the first time. Okay, yeah. One more thing I forgot to tell you. That is, see, the main agenda of this program, okay, is to, like, in one liner, if I have to say, is I will make you capable enough to read a Python code. Okay, even if you just attend my live session and if you don't do anything else, you are just coming and you're just attending, you're just watching me speak, and you're not doing anything on your side, then you will be capable enough of reading any Python code. That I can guarantee. Now, if you watch video, you're solving session, you're coding with me, you're doing everything multiple times, then only you will reach a stage where you will be able to write your own Python code. Okay, write your own Python code from scratch. But now the reality is somewhere in between. We don't have to write everything from this point onward because of AI. AI will generate the code for me, right? Understanding the code is the bare minimum. If you don't understand the code, you cannot do anything. So bare minimum you'll achieve by by just attending the live session. So I want each and every one of you to stay with me till the end. Okay, I want each and every one of you to stay with me till the end, because once you reach the end, you will reach a stage where if I throw any Python code at you, you will understand. Okay, and if you solve all the problems and assignment, if you practice, if you're actually sitting in front of computer and if you're typing the code, then you'll definitely learn how to write the code by yourself also. But you don't have to write. Why? Because we have AI. So I'll show you how. We will also have some Thursday session where I'll show you how you can design the entire strategy by using AI. I'll show you in front of you. Okay, so there is a software called VS Code. In this software, this is the software we will be using. Here we have an extension called GitHub Copilot. So I'll show you how I can use this GitHub Copilot to design the entire strategy. So I'll write a command. Command will generate the code. I'll explain you the code. I'll edit the code. What edits are needed. Basically, you won't be writing anything new. You will just be generating the code. You'll edit the code and will design the strategy. This also is coming, which will happen someday on Thursday session. Okay, so the only suggestion I will give you, stay till the end. If you do this, you will learn programming for sure. If you leave in between, then nothing can be done. Now, in case if any one of you is not able to continue in between, you don't have to worry. Just message me. We run a new batch every few months. You can join my next batch for free. Okay, so joining a new batch is also free. I don't charge anything because it is my responsibility. If you have talked with me, if I have interacted with you, it's my responsibility that I deliver the course to you. Okay, now unable to complete the course can be multiple reason, personal reason. It's fine for me. You can start again. Okay, anytime in future, just message me. I'll add you to a new batch and you can start again. So yeah, that's it for today. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first session. So before we move ahead, anyone want to ask anything, you can ask me right now. Abhishek, Akshay, Aniket, Raman, Rana, HP. So also, don't keep the name as HP or something. Like, keep your real name so that I can call out your name.
Change the name actually. I don't know, but ever since every time I joined that the so
No problem. All right. So I would request all of you to please mute yourself. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can unmute yourself and ask me, but keep yourself muted all the time. All right. So let me just show you my PPT. So today we are going to learn about variables and numbers. That's today's topic. Now, why should we learn Python? In market, there are other languages too, like there is C++, there is Java, there is JavaScript. So why Python? So I'll give you a few reasons. The first is it is easy to read. Okay, if you compare it with other languages, it is quite easy. The second is it is fast. Now, when I say fast, I mean to say, like if you compare two language like C++ and just a second, let's focus issue. Yeah. So when I say fast, I mean to say if there are two developers, one developer is writing code in C++, the other one is writing code in Python, so Python developer will complete the code much faster. Okay, that's what I mean when I say fast. Third is versatile. It means that it can be used in multiple domain. It is not only used in finance, it is also used in machine learning, it is also used in medical domain. The reason is it is too easy. Okay, that's why everyone is adopting it. And it does the work which we want to do. Okay. So if you ask about finance, it is used in stock market, it is used for reporting, plotting graphs and all. It is also used by banks for loan default and many other use cases. Now, what is Python interpreter? This is the first thing that you should learn whenever you study Python. That is Python interpreter. So it's a software that converts high level language to low level language. What do I mean by that? Now, see, we are speaking in in English, because all of us understand English, right? If I start speaking Tamil, then you guys won't be able to understand, right? So we need some way to communicate with our computer. And computer only understand one thing, which is zeros and one. Computer don't understand anything else. They only understand zeros and one, which is called binary language. So we need some way to convert our language to binary language, and that is done by Python interpreter. Without a Python interpreter, you cannot execute or you cannot run a Python file. Okay, no matter where you're running or executing your file, there has to be a Python interpreter to run that Python file or Python code. Okay, so Python interpreter converts a high level language. Now when I say high level language, I mean to say English language. So Python is more or less English only. Okay, so we are converting high level language, which is English, to low level language, which is zeros and one. That is done by Python interpreter, and we have to install it. So you can go to the official Python website and you can just download the software, which is Python interpreter. Just download it, install it, and you are good to go. Whenever you want to run the code, you have to use that interpreter to run that code. I'll show you how to do that, but after 2 weeks, we'll discuss that, the installation part and all. For now, just understand what the interpreter is. Now, when you run the interpreter, this is how the terminal will look like. So you can write the code and the code will get executed. Okay. Now, in our first few sessions, we are not going to use any desktop based software. We will use an online interpreter. So what's an online interpreter? It's a website where interpreter is already installed. So you can use any website, but I will recommend all of you to use a website called Google Colab. Now, what is Google Colab? It's an official website provided by Google to run Python code. Okay, so all of you follow along. You go to just google.com and just type Google Colab. Go to the first link. Okay, now there are a few good things about Google Colab, which I'll discuss one by one. Click on the first link, which is Google Colab, and just create a new Colab file. So just click on new notebook. You see the button new notebook, just click on new notebook. So it will create a new notebook for us. Now, any notebook that you create on this website will be saved into your drive. So you don't have to worry if you close or do anything. All of your code is saved in your Google Drive. Just remember which account you're logged in. So whichever account you're logged in that drive, you'll find the code. Now, what is Google Jupyter Notebook? Now, see, when we run Python, when we write Python code, we write in either two type of file. One is called .py file, a file which ends with .py, and another file ends with .ipynb. So any file which ends with .ipynb is called Jupyter file, or you can say Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook is the term that we use for a file which ends with .ipynb. Like if the file ends with .xls, so it's an Excel file. If it ends with .ppt, right? Yeah, .ppt, it means a PPT file. If it ends with .txt, it's a text file. Similarly, Python code is written in two type of file. One is .py file, which is a Python file. One is .ipynb file, which is called Jupyter Notebook. Inside Jupyter Notebook, we write the Python code. Okay. So here we have a Jupyter Notebook. We can change the name of the file. Let's call this variable and I'll press enter. So this is my file name. Okay. Now in Jupyter Notebook, we have this concept of cell. So this is one cell. If you want to add another cell, just click on this code button. If you click on code, another cell will be added. As many cell as you want, you can add it. So let's say if I write here 10 plus 20. So I've written a code 10 plus 20. Now I'll click on this triangle. It will execute the code. Now on the Jupyter Notebook, Python interpreter is installed. Okay, you can see it on the bottom right. It is saying initializing Python interpreter and all. So the Python interpreter is installed and this code is executed by using that Python interpreter. Everything is happening behind the scene. We don't have to worry. We just have to visit the site and start typing the code. Okay. Now, one very good thing about Jupyter Notebook is the sharing feature. So if I want to share my work with anyone, I can easily share it. I just have to click on the share button. Click on the share button. click on restricted. So instead of restricted, click on anyone with the link. Now, when you click on restricted, it means you have to individually give access to anyone. If you change it to anyone with the link, anyone can access your link. So just click on copy link. Click on copy link. Done. Now I'll just send this link in the chat room. And if anyone clicks on that link, he can access my code. Now, in future, if you ask me any doubt, okay, if there is code that you want to send me on my WhatsApp number, if you want to ask anything, never just copy and paste the code. Don't do that. It's very difficult for me or anyone to understand the code. So you have to paste the code in Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook on Google Colab and then share the link of Google Colab. Because if I click on the link, I can look at the code and I'll understand the code. If you directly paste the code on WhatsApp, then it's difficult to understand. So I'm warning everyone, if you directly paste any code on WhatsApp, I'll not reply you. Okay. Send me a proper Google Colab link by pasting the code and make sure that the sharing is anyone with the link. A lot of times students send me the Google Colab and when I click on the link, it's restricted. Right? So don't do that. Anytime you're sending me anything, just make sure that this anyone with the link is clicked, copy the link and send it to me. I can take a look and I'll give you feedback. Okay. So this is what Google Colab Notebook is. Jupyter Notebook, whatever you can call it. Now let's try to understand what is mathematical operators. Okay. Now we have studied operators in our math subject like addition, subtraction. The same operators exist in Python also. Like this is addition operator. Then we have multiplication operator. We use star to multiply two things. Then we have exponent operator. Okay. So exponent is double star. So if you want to write 2 raised to 3, so you'll write 2 double star 3. Okay. If you want to write 2 square, okay, if you want to write 2 square, you'll write 2 double star 2. So double star represent raised to or power. Okay, that's what double star is. Then we have subtraction, which is minus. Then we have division. Now, when it comes to division, there are two things. When you divide two number, you get quotient, you get remainder. If you want quotient, you have to write a slash. It will give you the quotient. If you want the remainder, then you have to use modulus operator. So this operator, this percentage that you see, we don't call it percentage, we call it modulus operator. And modulus operator gives you the remainder. Okay. So let me show you how to use this operator. So these are all mathematical operators. So if I write 10 plus 20, it will add. If I write 10 minus 20 and if I run the code. Now, how do you run the code in Google Colab? You can either click on this triangle or you can use a shortcut key, which I use, which is Shift, Control and Enter. Okay. So on my laptop, I press Control and Enter, it executes the code. So you can do the same. Now let's say I want to multiply. So I'll write 10 star 20. I'll execute the code by pressing Control and Enter. Control and Enter executes the code. So this is 200. If I write minus, it will be minus 10. Now let me show you division and modulus. Okay, let me show you double star also. So if I write 2 double star 2, it means I'm writing 2 raised to 2, which is 4. If I write 2 raised to 5, this will be what? This will be 32. Now what is modulus? Let's say if I write 10 divided by 2. If I run the code, it will be 5.0. If I write 10 divided by 3, it will be 3.33333, which is correct. So I'm looking for the quotient. But modulus is slightly different. If I write 10 modulus 3, this will give me 1, which is remainder. And modulus is quite important. Okay, it's used to all the other operators that I've showed you, they are also important. Modulus is also equally important. So don't take it lightly. Okay. Now remember that whenever you divide, this is very important line that I'm saying. Whenever you divide, you always get a decimal number. Even if I write 10 divided by 2, it will give you decimal. Here, if I am writing, so if I write 1 divided by 1, this will also give me a decimal number. Here, I'm not getting a decimal number. It's a normal number. So let me show you what is the difference between both. So there are two types of numbers that you will encounter in Python. One is called integer, which is a normal number. It can be a negative number. It can be a positive number. We call it integer. The other is float number. Any number with a decimal point in it, we call it a float number, right? And whenever you divide two number, you always get a float number. This is important. I'll tell you later. Why it is important, this you'll understand in our third session. Okay, I'll come to this point again. So these are the two types of variable. One is integer and one is float. Now let's try to understand a equation now. So in front of you, I show you two equation. On the left side, I've written 5 plus 7 in bracket, then into 2. On the right side, I've written 5 plus 7 into bracket, 5 plus 7 into 3. Now, if I run the code, it will give me a different answer. On the left side, it is giving me 36. On the right side, it is giving me 26. Now, why is this happening? This is because of a rule called PEMDAS rule. Okay. So the PEMDAS rule stands for parenthesis, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So parenthesis means bracket. Let me see some doubt. Yes, it is similar to BODMAS Raman, sorry. Okay. But in BODMAS, we have B, right? Here we have P. So for no reason, we use technical terms. Okay. So parenthesis is a technical term. In our technology word, we don't call bracket, we call it parenthesis for no reason. Okay. So that's why we have parenthesis, which means any bracket, any type of bracket, you call it parenthesis. Now, on the left side, I'm getting 36. Why? Because 5 plus 7 is executed first. On the right side, I'm getting 26 because 7 into 3 is executed first. So Python interpreter follows this rule. Whenever he looks at any equation, he will follow the rule and then it will give you the answer. Okay. Now let's try to solve one problem. Okay, from whatever we have learned till now, let's say that you want to buy a stock, you want to buy Apple stock, and Apple stock price is $1450. Okay, and your portfolio is $60. You only have $60. Apple price stock is $1450. You want to buy it, and you have a risk. You have to manage your risk also, so you cannot invest more than 1/3 of your capital. So you divided your capital with 3, so I got 20. So $20 is how much I can invest in a single stock, but the price of that stock is $1450. So I decided to ask my friends to invest, and all of my friends have a similar portfolio size. So the final question is that how many portfolios will we need if you want to buy the stock? A single portfolio can invest $20. How many portfolios will we need if you want to buy a stock worth $1450? This is the final question. So if I try to solve this is what I will do. I'll divide 1450 by 60. I'll divide 60 by 3 and I'll get 8.06. Now the problem with this value is there are two problems. First is it is too low. Okay. If you think about it, $20, everyone investing $20, $1450, the value doesn't match. That something feels off. So first, the problem is value is too low. Second, it's a decimal number. How will I bring 8.06 of my friends or portfolio? I have to kill one of them, right? Which I cannot do. So what to do? The problem is that the way interpreter is executing the code and the way we are interpreting is different. Okay, what interpreter is doing? Interpreter is first dividing 1450 by 60. So we are getting 24.17. And then this 24.17 is divided by 3. And that is the reason we are getting 8.06. Right? So how do we tackle this problem? We use bracket. So if you use bracket around 60 by 3, 60 by 3 will be executed, we'll get 20. And then 1450 will be divided by 20, we'll get 72.5, which is a right answer. But still we have one problem, which is the decimal point. Decimal point problem still exists. So we'll solve this decimal point problem in a minute. But our first problem is solved, which is this 72.5 looks like a legitimate value. Okay, if I bring 72 to 73 portfolios, I will have enough money to buy that stock. Right? Now, we need to learn about an important concept called variable. What is variable? Variable, think of variable as a container. It's a container where you can store a value. And whenever you want, you can change the value. You can have you can create a variable called x. Inside x, you can have 10. Later, you can have 20. Any type of data also you can have. Okay, now this is different. If you're coming from some other language, in other language, we have to specify what type of value we are storing in that variable. But in Python, that's not the case. If I create a variable, I can store an integer. If I want, I can store a variable. Sorry, I can store a float value. I can store a list. I can store a dictionary. Anything I want, I can store. Okay, that's the good thing about Python. So how do you create a variable? You write a variable name equal to some value. So portfolio underscore limit is equal to 60 by 3. Okay, now for those of you who already know Python, you can skip the starting few sessions. Okay, it's totally optional. If you want, you can attend. You can start attending the session when we move to the actual coding or actual project building stuff. Okay, so this is how you create a variable. Portfolio underscore limit is equal to 60 by 3. Now on the left side we have variable name, on the right side we have value to store, which is 60 by 3. The equal to is called assigned to operator. So 60 by 3 is assigned to portfolio limit variable. Now if I use the variable, this is how my code will look like. Now in my previous slide it was just a normal equation. I cannot call it a code, but this in front of you is a proper code. I've made some variable. So I've made a variable portfolio limit, I've made a variable portfolio per stock, and then finally I've printed portfolio per stock. Now let me just type it and show you. So I'll add another cell. and I'll write, let me make a variable called portfolio underscore limit. Okay, now one more thing. Here I'm not using a space. I would have used space after portfolio and between portfolio and limit, right? I'm not doing that. Why? Because there are some rules that you have to follow. Let me show you that rule first. So whenever you're naming your variable, these two rules you have to remember. First, your variable should not have a space in it. Second, your variable cannot start with a number or a special character. Okay, your variable should not have a space in it. Your variable should not start with a number or a special character. So you have to keep these two rules in mind. Then what to do if you have a space in your name? Then you have to use underscore. Okay, this way of using underscore between two words is called snake case. Snake case is what we call it. It is widely adopted by all the Python developer. So if you look at any of my Python code, everywhere I use underscore. But this is not the case for other developers. Like if you go and if you read any JavaScript code, in that community, people use camel case. So in camel case, what we do, we write our first word as it is. We write the second word, first letter capital. This is called camel case. Like it's just an approach of solving the problem. Both of them do this solve the same problem. That is, we don't have to we don't use spaces in the variable name. Either you do it this way or you do it this way. It's the same thing. But we as a Python developer will go with this approach, underscore. Okay. All right. So coming back to my Google Colab. So here I write portfolio limit is equal to uh, which is 70, right? Or it was 90. It was 60, sorry. So it is equal to 60 by 3. Now, whenever you are making a variable, you can have a space. Here you can have as many space as you want. There is no restriction. If I want, I can have 2 space. Here also I can have 2 space. But where you cannot have a space, in the beginning. Here you cannot have a space. See, I'll show you. If I run this code, it will work fine. It will not print anything. But the moment I add a space in the beginning, it will show an error. Oh, it is not showing an error, but usually it will show an error. Like if I write another piece of code, it will. So let me show you. So now I'll write, let me just remove the space for now. Now I'll write portfolio per stock, which is equal to 1450 divided by portfolio limit. Okay. Now if I run the code, nothing will be printed. Okay. Now if you want to print something in Google Colab, you just take the variable name and you just paste it at the end. So anything you write at the end, any variable or any value you write at the end will be printed. So here why the value was printed? Because it was the last value. Now here I have written portfolio per stock, so portfolio per stock value will be printed, which is 72.5. Now, if I add a space here, okay, see if I add a space here, just a single space, and if I run the code, it will throw an error. And I want you to read the error properly. The error, it is saying indentation error. So in the technical world, indentation means spaces. So when I say indentation, I mean to say spaces. So what our interpreter is saying, and interpreter is giving us an error saying that unexpected indent. So I have written some spaces which is not needed. So whenever you see error, you should be happy. Okay, I don't want you to go blank when you see the error. I want you to be happy because I want you to read and understand the error. Because there are only limited error. People think that there are unlimited error, but that's not the case. In reality, if you spend good enough time learning and understanding any language, there are limited error. And once you encounter all of them and once you understand all of them, then you'll never be, afraid of error. Because when you see the error, you know why it is showing. And you can look at that problem and you can tackle that problem. Okay. So I don't want you to be afraid of the error, at least for 2 months. For 2 months, you're not allowed. After 2 months, yes, you are. But for 2 months, I want you to confront your error. Okay. So I'll just remove the space. Now, if I run it, it will print the value, which is 72.5. Okay. So coming back to the spaces point, you can have the space here. You can have the space after also, even between the variables, between the value. Here, if I write 1450 space, year space, this is also fine. As many spaces as you want, you can have it. But the only place where spaces are not allowed is in the beginning. In the beginning, it is not allowed. Okay, so I'll give you guys 2 minutes. I want you to create a new Google Colab file and write the same code on your computer or on your Google Colab. And once you're done, just give me a thumbs up so that we can move ahead. Now, if you want to disable this, just click on this cancel. It will be gone. in Google Colab. Now, this is specifically for Google Colab. You have to write that variable or value at the end. Now, variable and value, both of them are different. Variable is like a container. Value is what? Value is integer and a float. Till now, uh, we have only discussed two type of value. One is variable, one is integer, and one is float. Okay, and variable can be anything. You just have to remember two rules while naming your variable. Okay, now coming back to our PPT. Okay, now similar, the problem that we have faced, same problem is faced by a bank now. Okay, a bank also wants to buy a stock. So bank also have a limited fund. They also have risk limitation. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating multiple variables. Previously, I just wrote some like single variable. Now I've made a variable called percentage. I've made a variable called stock price. I've made a variable called bank money. I've made a variable called bank limit. Okay, at the end of the day, I'm doing the same thing. So bank has 900. Bank can invest 300. That is 1/3 of its portfolio, right? But notice how I'm naming my variable. So whenever you're naming any variable, just make sure that variable represents the value. Okay, like if it's a stock price, don't just name it X is equal to like 1450 or anything. It's a stock price, right? So just name your variable as stock price. And it's not necessary that you have to name it completely. Just write S underscore price. So basically, I'm trying to say that you have the freedom. Just make sure that you, or if someone else reads the code, they should understand what that value represent. Okay, you should be as descriptive as possible. So the same problem. So bank has limit of 300, but bank also wants to buy a stock. So bank, that a stock price is $1450. So now I need to know how many banks we need to buy that stock. So I made a variable called num underscore bank, which is equal to stock price divided by bank limit, and we are getting num bank, which is 4.8. Again, we came across the same problem, which is the decimal point. Okay, so let me just write this code again. So first, we will make a variable called bank money. Bank underscore money is equal to, I'll write 900. Then I'll make a variable called bank underscore limit, which is equal to bank underscore money divide by 3. Okay. Now we need stock price, or the stock underscore price is equal to 1450. Okay. Then we need num bank. So I'll write num underscore bank is equal to stock price divide by bank limit. Okay. Now, if I want to see, if I run this code, nothing will be printed. If I want to print a value of any variable, I have to write the variable at the end. So I'll write num underscore bank. And if I run the code, it will print 4.833. Let's say I want to print the value of bank limit. So you have to write bank limit and run the code. It will print the value of bank limit. Okay. So there are two ways to print something. One is you write it at the end, or you can use the print function also. So let's say now see, in this case, I'm not able to print anything in between, right? Anything I write at the end is being printed. Other things are not being printed. If you want to print it, you have to use the print function like this. You can write print bank underscore limit. So print is a function. Now what's a function? Function, you can think of them as words which have special power. And after writing some word, we use round bracket. So when I say something is a function, so there has to be a round bracket. So here I'm saying print is a function. Now print is not a variable name. I'm saying print is a function. Why? Because after print, I'm using round bracket. Anything, any word, after any word, if I'm using round bracket, that's a function. And you can see the color will be different. You see, it is now slightly yellowish. So it shows me that it's a function. And anything I write inside a function will be shown in the output. Now, if I run this, you'll see bank limit will also be shown. Here it is showing 300. Now, instead of bank limit, I'll just write here num underscore bank, num underscore bank. It will print the num bank, which is 4.833. Okay. So two ways to print something. You use the print function. So you write print and then you write round bracket. Inside round bracket, you can either write a variable name or a value. Anything you write will be printed in the output screen, and anything you write at the end will also be printed. So now I want you to note this down. Then I'll show you how do you tackle this problem of decimal point. Okay, this we will discuss in 2 minutes. But before that, I want you to note it down. We can use int function inside print int. Yes, Ananda, you can do that. All right. So now we need to know how do we convert this 4.8 to either 4 or 5. Now, logically, if you think converting 4.8 into 4 doesn't make sense because then we'll have less number of bank to buy the stock, right? So we need some way to approximate it to the higher value. Okay. So now I'll show you different ways of doing this. That is, how do you convert to integer? Okay. This is a very important problem because this problem you will face again and again in our later part of our course. Like if I have to give you an example, let's say you are calculating a stop loss. Okay. Now the broker or the exchange is giving you some stock price and you have to calculate stop on that price. Let's say the exchange is giving you 100, your stop loss is 95. Now, if you calculate 95.11111 and if you send this value to the exchange, exchange will reject your order saying we don't know this number. We only accept a number with two number after the decimal point. So it will give you some error like this. So this is a very important problem that you need to know how to solve this. So there are multiple ways to do this. One of the easiest way is by using the int function. Okay. So I'll write int. Inside down bracket, I will write num underscore bank. So what int function will do, it will approximate it to the lower value. Now, no matter what value you send, no matter what variable you write, it will always be approximated to the lower limit. Like if I write here like instead of num bank, if I write 4.9 and if I run the code, approximating to 1. If I write 5.9, it will convert it into 5. If I write 5.1, then also it will be the same. Okay. So this is the int function. Then we have another way of doing the same thing, which is by using the round function. So you can call the round function and you can write, if I write 4.1 and if I run the code, it will approximate to the lower limit. If I write 4.6, it will approximate to the higher limit. So it will approximate it to the whichever value is closer. If 4 is closer, it will give you 4. If 5 is closer, it will give you 5. Okay. Now, let's say if you want to approximate to the higher limit only. If you want lower limit, int is a way. If you want the nearest, round is a way. But if you want to always approximate to the higher number, then what you will do? So for that, you have to import a library. Okay. So this, what is library and all, we'll discuss later. But there is a library called math library, which I'll show you. So there is a library called math. So I'll write import math. Then in math library, we have a function called seal. Okay. So if I send a number like 4.1 inside the seal function, it will always approximate it to the higher value. Okay. So 3 different solution and which approach to use when is totally dependent on the situation. Now the last one we'll discuss about it later, like what is library, what is this import and all, we'll discuss later. For now, just remember that we write import math. What this import math means, we are importing a file called math, and this math file is inside the interpreter. Okay, there is a file called math.py inside the interpreter, and when I write import math, that file we are importing, and inside that file there is a function called seal. Inside that file, there is a function called seal. And the speciality of this function is any number you send inside the seal function, any float number, it will give you a higher, like it will give you the seal value. So there is 2 things. One is floor and one is seal. So just like seal, we also have a floor function. Like if I just write code, I'll write math dot floor. So if I write 6.9, it will approximate it to 6. So seal function to the higher limit, floor function to the lower limit. Okay. So any approach you can use, totally up to you. But remember, you have to analyze the situation and accordingly use the solution. One more thing. Now this round function also have another ability. What if I want to approximate it to only till 2 digit? Then int will not solve the problem. Math.floor, math.seal will also not solve the problem. Only round function can solve this problem. So I'll do round. Let's say the value is 3.3335 and I want to approximate it till 2 digit. So what I'll do, I'll write comma 2. So this 2 represent that I want to approximate it till 2 digit after the decimal number. So now if I run this code, it will be 3.33. Okay. I'll give you guys 2 minutes, just play around with the function. I just introduced like 3 to 4 different function. One is int function, one is round function. Now you might ask me, why do I have to import for ceil, and why do I not have to do anything for round and int function? Because round and int function is available inbuilt. So there are only limited inbuilt function which we have. There are other function too, but for that we need a library. Okay, and there are some inbuilt libraries also, like math. There is a math library, there is a OS library, there is a time library. There are so many libraries which we'll discuss later, and there are libraries which don't exist, so we have to download the library. Okay, that also we will discuss later. But why, like, the syntax is different for ceil function and round function? Because round and int, they are inbuilt function. Math is a library. Inside the math we have a ceil function. I hope it is clear. I'll give you guys like proper 3 minutes to 4 minutes. Just try to analyze, just play around with the function. Let me know if you have any doubt in this. Can we not assign alphabetic value to variable like stock name? Yes, we can do that, which we will discuss in few minutes. In Colab, we need to install library. We can use directly. Yeah, so this math library is an inbuilt library, so we don't have to install anything. Now there is a library called Panda, there is a library called NumPy, or there is other libraries too. So if they are not available, we have to download it. So to download it, we have to install it. That we will discuss later. So Ananda, if you write math dot, it will show you all the functions which are available, and you don't have to remember all of them. Okay, no need to remember anything. Whenever you face any issue, you just go to Google, search for it, and Google will tell you which function to use. But if you want list of all the functions, this is how you do it. You just have to write dot. So int and floor, they are quite different. Int function is used to convert anything into integer. Floor function is used to convert I'll discuss about this later. Okay, what is the difference? We'll come to this point later. I'm not getting any function after typing math dot. Even for math dot floor, I'm getting an error. What error you're facing, Akshay? And you're using Google Colab, right? I'm assuming you're using Google Colab. Can you share your screen?
Yes, Sunil, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can share your screen and show me the error.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Can you see the screen?
No.
Just
Yes, now it is loading. Yeah, now I can see your screen. I can see your screen.
okay, okay.
You have not written import math.
Okay, so I need to write that first even for
Yes.
floor.
Yes. You have to write import.math and then you have to write math.ceil.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. Let me try it over there.
All right. So now we have seen how do you okay. Now what is the difference between this int and this floor? This will come to in few minutes. For that, we have to discuss another topic, which is string. Okay. So now int and variable topic is complete. Now we'll move to the next topic, which is also very important and easy, called string. Now, what are strings? Strings are sequence of character that can store letters, number, or combination, anything. So inside a string, you can store anything you want. Like if I want to store a name of a stock, like Apple, you can make a variable like stock name is equal to, you can create a value called apple. Now, this apple is a value, and we create a string by using a quote. Okay, we create a string by using a quote. You can either use a single quote, you can use a double quote, or you can use a triple quote. Let me show you how it's done. Now, if I write stock underscore name is equal to, you have to write quote. So I'll write quote, I'll write Reliance. Okay. Now I can also use double quote. So I'll write SN. Let's make a variable called SN is equal to, I'll use double quote now. I'll write Tesla. You can also use triple quotes. You can write S is equal to triple quotes like this. This is string. Okay. And the good thing is, inside a quote, you can write anything you want. I can also write, this is a string. I can write here at, like any special character, any number, anything you want, you can write inside a quote. And it's applicable for all the three quotes: single quote, double quote, and triple quote. And this is our third type of value. Till now we have seen two type of value. One is integer, one is float. Now this is third type of value called string. Okay, integer, float, string, they are values, and variables are different. We store values in a variable. Okay, I hope it is clear. Any doubt in this? Okay, now let's come back to the question that someone asked me, that is, how is int and ceil different, or float different? Now math.floor, if you send any float value, it will convert to an integer value, right? And the integer value will be the lower limit. That's what the float function does. But int function can do even more than that. What int function can do, it can also take a string and it can convert it into integer. This is called typecasting. Okay, so the topic that I'm discussing now is called typecasting. It's a concept where we learn how do you convert one type of value to another type. So there are three types of value we have discussed. We have seen integer, we have seen float, we have seen string. Can we convert them? The answer is yes. So if I write s equal to, I'll create a string and I'll write a number like 50. Even this is allowed. Okay, when you create a string, inside a string you can also write a number, but we'll not call it an integer. Even though it is 50, the value is 50, but I will still not call it integer. S is not an integer. Why? Because we are writing 50 inside a quote. Anything you write inside a quote is called a string. Okay. Now I'll make a variable called n is equal to 30. S is string. N is number. Right? I can write f is equal to 4.4. F is a float value. Now, if you ask me, how do you figure out what type of value is being stored in a variable? Yes, we can do that. We can use type function. I can write s. If I write type s, it will show me it is string. If I write type of n, it will show me integer. If I write type f, it will show me float. So this type function tells me what type of value is stored inside. Okay. Now, what int function can do? Int function has the ability to convert string also to integer and float also to integer, which you cannot do by using the floor or ceil function. Okay, so if I write int, if I send this s, which is a string, int function will convert that string into an integer. That's what int is used for. So the main purpose of int function is not to just convert float to integer. Its purpose is to convert anything to integer. I'll repeat. The main use case of int function is to convert anything to integer if it is convertible. Now I cannot convert this Reliance string to integer. That is not possible. If I try to do it, it will throw an error. If I write if I write sn, this will throw an error. It will say, now I wanted to read the error. Okay, read the error. It is saying sn is not defined. Okay, I have to run this. Let me run this code. Now sn is not defined means what? It means my interpreter don't know about sn. If you see, I have not executed this cell. If I don't execute the cell, interpreter will not know about it. So I have to execute the cell first. Now it will give me some other error. Now it is saying invalid literal for int with base 10. So it is saying that I'm trying to convert Tesla to integer, but I'm not able to do it. Okay. If I do it for S, it will work. For Sn, it will not work. Okay. So this is the concept of typecasting, which we'll discuss again in our next session tomorrow. Yes, Ananda, you are correct. That's what I meant. You guys can note it down, then we'll move ahead. Yes, Raman. Class is up to 330 or 340 max. If the value of a string is a float and I use int, is showing an error. Yes, you are right. You have to use the float function for that. So the concept of typecasting, let me repeat it. Okay, coming back to the concept of typecasting. So I've only discussed about one function, which is int. So I said that int is capable of converting anything to integer if it can be converted. Similar to int, we also have a float function. So if I write float, if I write, let's say, 5. So what float 5 will do, it will convert my integer to float. So if I run the code, it will convert into 5.0. Okay. Now, let's say I have a string called 50.1. Now, 50.1 cannot be converted to integer. It can be converted to a float. So if I write here float s, this will work. But, oh, I have to run this code. Run this and then run this. So whenever you do the update, you have to execute that cell. Otherwise, the interpreter will not know that you have updated it. So you see, I got 50.1. Similarly, we also have a string function. So if I write str and if I send, let's say, n. Now n is what? N is an integer, right? And if I run this, you will see it will show me 30 inside a quote. It's a string now. If I want to convert f, which is, you can see f is a float value 4.4. If I write here f will be converted to a float value. So float function is used to convert anything to float. Int function is used to convert anything to int. And string function is used to convert anything to string. If it is convertible. If it cannot be converted, it will throw an error. Okay. So this is the concept of typecasting, which means we are converting one type of value to another type. Till now, we have only seen 3 types of value. These are also called data types. So integer data type, float data type, and string data type. In integer, we only write one type of value. In float, we write any number with a decimal point in it. In string, we use quote. And quote can be single quote, double quote, or triple quote. All 3 of them I've shown you here. Okay. So in our next session, we will continue with the topic of string. We'll go in more depth. We'll learn few more concepts. There are too many things to discuss about string, which we will discuss in our next session. So yeah, that's it for today. Now, there is one announcement. So I have this Instagram channel. If you guys want, you can follow it. I have started a 100 days of quant finance channel. You can just search for Sunil_quant. It's on Instagram. I'll just show you. This is my Instagram handle. So I've started like 100 days of quant finance channel challenge where every day I am, like explaining one topic. Like on day 1, I explain log return. On day 2, I explain VAR. On day 3, I explain statistical arbitrage. On day 5, I explain macro strategy. On day 4, I explain crash metrics. I explain implied volatility. If you're interested, you can follow me. This is one small announcement. So yeah, that's it for today. Bye everyone. See you again tomorrow, same time.